ridiculously loud Y62 supercharged exhaust. Cold start. My neighbours are gonna hate me. I don't know if you can even hear me, but Toby, Steve Allen's son, talked me into letting him play with the exhaust for this weekend's trip. So what he's done, we've got the headers, high flow cats, then into the dash midsection, and then he's straight piped it after that. And now it is ridiculously, in the words of Tough 62, redonkulously loud. It's ridiculous. I don't even think the car likes it. It's just come up with an engine light, and I've got one of these cheapy King's scan gauge thingies, and I've got codes P0549, I don't know what that one is, that's new. P2083, I'm gonna have to go Google those ones. But nonetheless, let's go do our normal drive-by stuff so you can hear how silly this is gonna be for the weekend. Stupidly loud exhaust, 0 to 100. There's things vibrating in my car which I haven't heard vibrate before. Like if you've ever gone and done one of those Mandela like track days where you hire like a V8 supercar for the day, and it's so incredibly loud, like they've dropped the whole exhaust, that's kind of what it sounds like. Obviously you couldn't live with this, but it's got to be a lot of fun for this weekend coming up, because we're going away with a bunch of Vics, heading over to Beachport, and haven't seen them for ages, so it's going to be so good to catch up. All the usuals will be there, and so today's like getting the car ready. What's been happening at Dash Off-Road and 4x14 Acres, heaps has been happening over the holidays, some new products, that sort of thing. And generally me just thrashing the guts out of my car. Am I turning right? Yes I am. Here we go. Oh, I love it. It's not actually too bad when you're cruising, but the rest of the time it is stupidly loud. I've just pulled over to look up these codes. P283 code shows the performance of the engine, which is very low, I wouldn't say that, and is defined as the exhaust gas temperature sensor circuit intermittent bank 2 sensor 1. So maybe I've melted, I don't have, anyway, maybe it's to do with the wire on the O2 sensor. I'm about EGT. And the other code is P0549. P0549 code is stored when the EGT sensor registers high voltage from bank 2 sensor on the exhaust gas temperature sensor. Looks like another headers fun code. Anyway, I'll speak to Steve-O and then reset them and do whatever, and just check out to make sure there's no melty wires and things. But I guess there's one of these people in every state that have just got stupidly loud exhaust. There's WA is Jordan Hobbs, Queensland is Gavin Harris, New South Wales would be Andrew Harland, Victoria is Rob Welsh. So I guess now I've just joined all of them. Full throttle doesn't sound too bad. It's just when you're like bumbling around, then it like you get that flappy noise between 2000 and 3000. It's awful. Oh well, gotta go get to work and start the day. This is where it's handy to have a hoist at work for these sorts of things, so I'll put it up, have a look, see if there's any melties going on. But while we're here, I'll show you what else has been going on with this rear bar, because this is prototype 3 of this design, the 3rd one. We've changed a fair bit and we're very, very close. I'll give you a bit of a walk around so you can have a look at it. All right, let's go and have a squiz. So, differences on this bar from the previous one that I had on my car is this is aluminium now. So it was 4mm thick, but it means for the Series 5s with the radar that goes in here, well, it's about there usually. We've relocated it to there, but they work on magnetics, so we don't have to have a hole there for the radar to work. It works perfectly through. So that's one change. Changed some hardware, so we've got a nice steel cap on, or aluminium cap that goes on here, because the bolt under there, the steel was rusting a bit. We've got all the sensor locations nailed now, so they're all working perfectly. Camera relocation is sitting in there very nice and looks good on the screen. These lights, they aren't actually the ones I wanted, but there's just a shortage of lights in the world at the moment, so we're just going to run with these until I can find the other solution I wanted. Fixed up other little things. You guys probably didn't notice, but we had the wrong light. It was a light going out shining this way, now it shines down on the number plate, and just lots of other little tweaks, just finishing it off. So I'm very happy with the way this bar is looking now. I think it looks tough. We purposely made it wider than the vehicle, because all the other ones available like stop at the vehicle, so when you put flares on, like they kind of don't look right. So this will line up with the flares perfectly. Either slimline or the extremes, but I'm pretty chuffed with it. I like it. And you guys wouldn't have known it, but before it used to fill up in mud, in sand in here. So we've got holes all the way through, and that's made it a bit lighter too. So this whole thing only weighs 88 kilos now. Cut this out for the ladder, so when we close this up, should be on the other side, but I'll jump over. Oh, this is a latch, it's like a cam latch. So easy, like one hand, really easy. But yeah, that's all nicely cut out in here now to go around the ladder. So I'm pretty chuffed. Being able to like just open it one hand and then open the tailgate, get to your beers, whatever, that's what I like. So where do we go from here? I'm going to go do this trip and do a bit of a shakedown of it. Then it comes off the car probably the week after, and gets sent off for all the tow bar rating, ADR testing, all that sort of stuff. So that will happen, and then we place the order. So I'm probably going to get a limited number in first, and there'll be an early access program. So the only way you can get hold of one of these is through one of the our Dash resellers, and then we'll probably do like just a small number on the first run, just to make sure production is perfect. And when that's like confirmed, we'll open the floodgates, and then we'll have these available. Finally, it's like 2.5 years in the workings to get this done. It's harder to make a rear bar than it is a front bar, by far. This is Toby, the person that did this to my car. All right, we're going to turn this around anyway. Won't be able to see it. So I might have done some more engine codes this morning, Steve.
Don't know what.
So EGT or something. What?
Exhaust gas temp sensor.
Oh, of course. There's like stuff everywhere in the way. Watch your head.
So they're up on the.
Not too bad.
So your exhaust gas ones, that's your O2s.
Yeah.
And you want the exhaust gas temp sensors, which are the little ones that screw into the bottom of the headers.
Oh, up here. They don't look any different. Maybe they're just having a bad day. Anyway.
These ones here.
Yeah. Bit of an angle how it comes out.
But yeah, they have to be like that, just the way they are with the headers. But
alright.
You're going to have a look at some live data, mate.
Alright. Alright, Toby went and put the Snap-on computer on my car and got some live data from it. I'll show you. Alright, first of all, this is, we did it on Steve's computer as well. This is what the scope shows, like bank 1, bank 2, nice clean graph. This is my car. So either the EGT sensor is buggered, and what we could do is take it out, put it on the other side, and if it copies the error over there, then we know the sensor's buggered, or there's something else wrong. So this wasn't really supposed to go this way with this video, but we'll just turn it into a bit of a diagnosis video, I suppose. We'll go and have a look. We might even have a spare EGT sensor around here somewhere. So, all right, well, because I've got the trip this weekend, I want to go on that. All right, we'll see what happens. Sadly, no EGT sensors that we had laying around, because we had one in for another car a while back and didn't end up using it, so we sent it back. And so we went out to get lunch, and like the whole dash lit up like a Christmas tree. No cruise control, radar, lane departure, any of that sort of stuff now. So, and I can't really do much about it. So it looks like we're doing this trip with a faulty EGT sensor, annoyingly. But anyway, it's getting late in the day. It's like, I don't know, 2, 3 o'clock. We're leaving tomorrow for Beachport, so now it's essentially getting the car ready, bush barriers on, getting all the other stuff, throw the tools in, and then we're out of here. So questions, there was a question on Facebook today about how the battery's going. Really good, although I blew up my inverter, but we'll talk about that on another episode. One thing I probably would like to share though is a call that Steve got that came in today, because his battery went flat on him the other week. He had the Caravan on, went for a pub lunch, come back out. My lithium battery was running fine, but his went flat because I was trying to run the Caravan fridge. Now, the reason for that, one, probably left it too long, but the other one is his shunt is still connected. So the shunt on your Y62 is like a fuel saving thing. It turns the alternator to say, we don't need to charge the battery up anymore. So it runs at, well, when you first start the car, it runs at 14.4 volts. And then after about 5 minutes, it says, the battery's charged enough to be able to start again later. We'll just dip it down to 12.1 and float. So when you turn the car off, it's at 12.1 volts. Leave the Caravan connected. It only takes like 10-15 minutes to drop down to below 12. You can't start the car. That's what happened to him. Also happened to a customer that rang us for some help today. Exactly the same thing. With the addition, their Caravan battery was going flat as well, and it was reading like 9.5 volts. And that again is because of this smart, silly alternator. Imagine you've got 12.1 volts at the battery, start battery of the car. By the time it gets all the way through the car and the Caravan to the BC-DC charger, it's probably 11.5 volts. And the charger says, no, I'm not going to even try and charge the Caravan batteries when it's that low, because it's going to make the start battery even flatter. Therefore, the Caravan went flat too. It's a really simple solution that doesn't cost a cent. Just pull the shunt plug. I've got another whole video on this, go and look it up. And you'll have less troubles with the car battery going flat, and also if you've got a Caravan attached and you're trying to charge that one. Apart from that, another little trick is you can turn your headlights on when you're driving, and instead of the smart alternator dropping it to 12.1, it will only go as low as 13.1. So you get a little bit more voltage in, and that might be just enough to get your BC-DC charger in the Caravan ticking over to get that happening. So hope you like that tip. I'm going to get back on to putting these bush barriers on. Carl, knight in shining armour, was going to try and get my compressor going because I had issues with that before I went away. And it's, as always, it's a rush to get it all done. And the flares came off over the trip. The wheel came up and hit them on the sand and ripped them off. I was going to do it every day this week. I just haven't got time. So we're going away with 2 out of 4 flares. And I'll relook at that when I get back. All right, gotta go. All right, we're up to the final stages of packing the car to go. So get asked all the time, what I pack to go on a trip. So I'm going to show you exactly the process because I'm rushing it all and might as well put the camera on when I'm doing it. And in the background, say hello Daryl. This is our new product manager. So the reason we're going to get products out faster than we have done before is because I was doing it before and I've got a bit of this other stuff to do. So now Daryl's going to be the one that's going to get all these products out, and it's already started with the rear bar. That's the only reason it happened today, and there's heaps more coming. And this afternoon, it's so hot and humid in here, we're putting tools down. He's going to be my cameraman. So passing over. Okay, so because we haven't got our drawers set up yet, I'm just using tubs. It's easy. So I've got a whole heap of stuff in here, and I'll show you some of the stuff I go away with. You know, some of the obvious stuff. 32mm socket, and you need one of these big deep ones for your front drive shaft. For the back, it's a 36mm socket. Make sure you carry a big breaker bar as well. Always make sure I've got something to hit with and cut with. The other little bits and pieces, like, you know, jump packs, multimeters. My little kit here, coming closer, Daryl. So this is a brake switch. Your car won't start unless this is functioning. So I'll carry a spare one of them, radiator cap, wheel nuts. If your airbags go, sometimes that can save the day. Little 4mm connector, and all the other little fuses and valves and caps and things that you could possibly want. They will go in there. So we'll chuck that in. Lots of fuses, Anderson's plug spares. I've got a bunch of fluids in here, so just in case. Never had to use them, to be honest. If airbags do leak, I bring my cutting tool in, lithium soldering iron. That gets used more often than you would think, to be honest, so that's going in. A bit of solder, and that's kind of like the toolbox. So if I have to, you know, go and work on a car, I just pick this up and take it. Next to that, there'll be another box that goes in, and this is where I've got my favourite jack, the old GU jack. Everything else to do with jack extension kit. You would have seen me talk about these before, had a bit of use. And lastly, a box of wheel nuts and studs, because when you break one of them it sucks, so take them with me as well. There's a whole box of them there. And then it's power tools, so you can't have too many, so I just take a lot, pull the batteries out. So the impact driver, drill obviously, grinder. The amount of times I've used that on the tracks, I can go in with some spare discs. If we're going to somewhere that doesn't have chainsaws, or not allowed chainsaws, I bring the reciprocating saw. There's 5 amps, so I'm not going to worry about that. And then lastly, I always carry a spare air filter, because the amount of times I've gone away on a trip, it's got clogged up, I come home, I'm getting awful fuel economy. That's a $5 fine to Outback cleanups. So I just take a spare one of them for the trip too. So all this goes in the back of the car, strapped down, and basically just have to hook the pod up and go. So I'm going to call this one for Friday's video. I'll do more videos over the weekend, which is all the beach ball, everyone coming together. George and Ilya will be there. I think Owen's going to come across as well. But this is all a new club that Rob Forbes is starting up. And you'll see that on Facebook, and we'll talk about that on the weekend too. Alright, this one's over and out. I'll see you next time on YouTube. Yeah.